Good evening, good morning, or good afternoon to the Flies community on YouTube. What's up, everybody? Top of the morning, laddies! We got bees hanging out with us today. Okay. It's a bee breaking time. My goodness. It's good, fam. How's everybody doing? Happy Sunday. Sunday fun day! Just finishing up my shake. Is that really annoying? Okay, I'll stop. Honest. For now, at least. Oh. Do you guys eat already? Is it morning? Or is it evening? There we go. It's better. Evening? What time? It's 11 a.m. here. Morning time, baby. Let's go. Cool pose. Oh, you know it. Only the coolest, my friend. Only the coolest. How to begin? Join my Facebook group, Break It Made Simple, and watch my course I have free there. That's how. No worries. So relaxing. Yeah, dude. That's how you should start every morning. Little bit of a chill vibe, you know what I'm saying? This Saturday I'm going to a battle, but I can't understand how to prepare myself. Please help. So Sky, if you go on my YouTube channel, I have a video called How to Prepare for a Battle. Watch that, and I have like a whole lead up into how to prepare for it. So it's my best advice. How's it going? No worries, Sky. Where's my music? That's better. That's better. The music is just a mix from Epidemic Sound. I can link it when I sit down. I've made dynamic moves, but I can't understand footwork. So, Sky, on my course, I have your basic footwork that you can get the base off of. And then from there, if you watch all my footwork videos I have on my channel, there's a pretty good like plethora of videos that can help you through that. Let me just link the mix here. 1 second. One second, everybody. There you go. That's the mix that I'm using. That's the one. Where are you from? I'm from Vancouver, Canada. Tips on no-handed coin drop. Yeah. 1 second. So for no-handed coin drops, what you want to do is either two ways. Either you go into it using only the side of your arm, or you go into it straight to your back. If you want to go straight to your back, start really low. Like you want to start here, and then as you whip, make sure you're landing up here. So you basically have to do two motions to get yourself down. You got to whip your arms first, and then your legs second. So you whip your arms to get your body going that direction, then your legs have to follow. So basically, think of your elbows as your guide, and then your shoulders being where you're landing on, obviously, and make sure your legs are kicking up and whipping enough to where you can land on your upper back and not lower back. Because as long as you don't land on your lower back, you'll be fine. It's complicated, I mean? It could be. Depends how you approach it. What are your hobbies? Video games. Basically anything to do with outside of movement also. Yeah, I don't have many. I just do mostly what I'm passionate about, to be honest. So my hobbies are also my passions, if that makes sense. Because I can do it, but to stand up again, I can do it only using the support of my hand. I know what you're saying. I struggle with that too. Do I play PUBG? Yeah, I play PUBG Mobile. It's awesome. If you want to play with me, you can add me. But I wanna create a solo versus squad channel, so I gotta get good enough first. Because I want to create a YouTube channel for PUBG Mobile. Yeah, boy. Yeah, for your Danielle, for your coin drops going back up, it's difficult. You basically have to have your pump hard enough to where you can get up without using your arms. So how you do that is you got to again use your shoulder and your head as your ramp, and then use your pump to propel yourself up without using your hands. So first, just try to land on your elbows, or like elbow one hand, and then slowly get more and more off of that. Yeah, it's definitely nice to live stream PUBG too. But I don't feel like I'm good enough yet, to be honest. I'm pretty trash still. But I only started like maybe a month ago, if not less. So yeah, it's only been a couple months. But eventually, I'd love to stream it. No worries, Danielle. If you want, Danielle, if you want actual like feedback on your video, go to my Facebook group, Breaking Made Simple, and you can post a video there of your training, and then I can help you out better there because I'll see what you're actually doing. So yeah, you're welcome to post your stuff there. There's also a community of people that can help you where I can't. It's, yeah, Keyshan is super addictive. If it was up to me, I don't know. I may just do it like all day. Sup, DJ? You made another one? 2 in a row? You getting on steady, hey? Get on steady, mate. Yeah, like if I could game like all day but outside at the same time, woo, it'd be a good day. Life's a little less busy, that's good. It's always good to have a little more downtime. Almost done. What's up, Zero? It's a popping channel now, okay? Everyone cool with that? Popping tutorial number 1, Fresno. Number 2. Just kidding. I wouldn't get past like number 3. To be honest. Popping Magneto? Yo, I can't. I literally always wanted to. Like I tried, at one point I tried pretty hard to be a popper, but like, I'm not dedicated enough. Can you do a no-handed headstand and actually balance in it? How does balancing that move work? It depends what you consider actually balancing. I can hold it for like 3 to 5 seconds if I like really try, but not longer than that. I can like kind of balance in it, but no longer than I think most people. I think it works from really stretching out all your limbs and keeping your center as close as possible. So what I find is the more that you're piked like this in it, but upside down obviously, the easier it is. So like, if anything, go up without using your hands is what I kind of been playing, and just tap your feet on the ground. I'm down to do something a little bit, just let me digest. No worries, David. Happy you're enjoying them. Thanks for stopping by. How many drill can you do in a head spin? Like 1.5 if I'm like very lucky. I also have basically never drilled it, so that's without really practicing it. So if I really practiced it, I'm sure I know I can get more. I don't really want to sacrifice my hair for it. Yeah, let's try it out. Come, if you're gonna go train, come back in like 30 minutes and I'll digest it and then I'm down to do some with you. Or just stay if you want to. And then you can also post the videos in the group and we can see. We'll have a no-handed headstand contest. Who can do the most? Just chilling, Zero. How are you? Lotus 10. Most flares you've done, 11 or 12, maybe 13. Like decent ones. I could probably do like 20 if I was doing just garbage ones, but I don't really believe in those being actual flares. So I'd say like 11 passable flares. I miss them so much, dog. Oh my God. Lotus relax, trying. My ankles are still really tight, so the bottom one still struggles with it. Like I'm feeling it right now, just doing this. I have to have really warmed up ankles because like the top one is so much pressure. This one. But it maintains posture. That's true, I guess, hey? Is that like the origins of why people did it? Because it keeps your posture good? That's interesting, I didn't know that. Can you do 1990? If you can, please give me some tips. I can do like half or one. I can give you some tips from like seeing enough people do it, but I'm probably not the best person to help you with it, but I can definitely share with you what I know. Like when I lotus, right here is so sore. 2000s are way worse for me than 1990s. I've never really trained them, to be honest. Maybe guess your age, sure. Go for it. $26? Close to 25. Any tips on elbow air flares? Not really. I can barely even do half of one, to be honest. Don't think I'm the best person for that. What's up, y'all? How many times can you do push-ups in one try? Most I've ever done, I think, is like 80, probably. Can you tell me some exercises that helped you a lot to improve your footworks? 0, I've put my best ones in my videos. Like if you've seen my how to make your footwork better now video, I put a lot of tips in there. And then also like how to turn your footwork into power work. Like, yeah, most of mine are on my channel. But if you want like more, then you're welcome to just ask me like tips for a specific thing, and then I can help you more with that. What's up, Flame? Any tips on like air chair to hold it longer? Use a chair or something and hold on to it while you're in it. That's my best advice. You want to like hold it, but then have something to hold on to while in it. I can do 1 minute with an object, but only about 5 seconds without. I mean, what is your goal with it? Because holding an air chair for 5 seconds seems already enough for majority of things to do out of. Do you have a certain specific goal in mind that you want to do? Move in, y'all. Kitchen time, baby. I want to learn how to spin air chair. That's the goal. Oh, okay. Do you want to spin? Like, I guess you want to spin as long as you can. Hey, yeah. Sorry, man. That's a little bit more specific than I think I can help you with. I'd recommend just continuing to train the balance with a chair or something, and then, or even what my homies Reese did is I would see them always train like a low air chair. So like you're stabbed, but your legs are low, and then you go up and you hold a legitimate air chair for a couple of seconds, and then you come back down. I don't know if you can do that without falling, but if you kind of like go up and then balance and then go up and then balance, that way, whenever you're falling, you train how to land in the hold so that you don't fall out of it, so that if you're doing an air chair spin or something, you know how to catch and recover while still staying in like an air chair. It just kind of becomes more of a side chair. If that makes sense. Where have you traveled thanks to breaking? Yukon, Montreal, Toronto, Calgary, Europe, Slovakia, Vienna, Heerlen, Netherlands, Seattle, Portland, LA, Las Vegas, San Diego, where else now? Yeah, that's close to it. I think that's most of it. Yeah, T1, I'd suggest training like that, because the more that you're in an air chair-esque position, the better, right? So just keep trying to balance it for as long as you can, and then again, like try to hold with the chair, and then I'd say hold without a chair, and then learn how to do that kind of hold and release, and hold as long as you can, then release, and hold as long as you can, and release. I'm sure if you do that over time, it's just gonna get better and better and better. Try adding like a second every day. You know what I mean? And then if you can do that by like 2 weeks, you're gonna have like a 20-second air chair. You know what I mean? And fire, dude. Fire, baby. Okay, I'm back. 1 second. Come on, yo. There we go. You've helped me a lot getting back on my breaking. Really appreciate you, man. Best channel on the tube. Yo, thanks, Skate. Just trying to be me and showcase what I know and help y'all. Because growing up, I always wanted more community online, and I never had that. So I'm trying to create it. It's really all I have to say. But I'm happy it's helping you a lot. What's up, Detrox? It's going fantastic. How are you? I shaved, guys. I'm not so homeless now. How about that? Appreciate it. I can only stretch in the moment because I'm ill, but I'm definitely gonna do it. Yeah. If you're sick, yo, do lots of sauna. Lots of sauna and like hot baths. At least kill your flexibility. If you can sweat it out while stretching too, boy, you can improve. How do you press to handstand? Good question. I just ate, so I'm trying to see if I can explain it without doing it. I think a good way to practice it is train push-ups, but overextended on your wrists. So you want your wrists. So you want to do some push-ups, kind of like not pseudo push-ups necessarily, but like here first. So make sure you can do like, you know what I mean? Overextended. So I think having that first is number one you want to do. And then, of course you're watching in the theater, Detrox. Enjoy it, bro. Take care. Andre, I don't even know how to say your name, dog. But anyways, so start there, right? And then what you want to do is start learning how to do kick handstand first, right? But give me like, if you're staying around, Andre, give me like 5 minutes. I'm almost digested my food enough, and then I can actually show you, okay? How long you been doing breaking? I've been breaking for like 11 years, 12 years. I'm an old man now. I've been breaking since like 2007, 2008. Yeah, I know, right? Gray hair now. Yeah, Andre, if you wait like 5 minutes, I can do it. Old man status over here, everybody. Basically just an old man. Magnus, do you think trying to get professional b-boy moves, is it wrong? I don't think it's wrong. I just don't think it's going to be that helpful. Because you have to remember, professional b-boys, they're battling usually full time for their career, right? So judges and the general public are seeing their moves how much? All the time, right? Like, I bet a lot of us could go through our favorite b-boy sets or favorite professional b-boy sets over and over again, right? So if you're kind of doing moves that are similar to what they're doing, then the judges, are they going to pick you, or are they going to pick the person that made those moves? You know what I mean? So it's just kind of a bad call in my opinion, because like, it's one thing if they teach like a basic or one of their moves to you for you to flip, by all means, fabulous. But if you're just looking at them and trying to bite their stuff, like it's not going to help you in the long term, because judges are going to see you, and are the judges closer to that famous b-boy, or are they closer to you? I'm sure they're more close with that famous b-boy. You know what I mean? Because why else are they judging the battle, right? They're judging the battles usually because they're in the scene. So if they're in the scene at that level, they're usually pretty high level, right? So I wouldn't recommend it, but that's not to say that if they don't do tutorials or teach you not to do it, right? But the more you can change any move that you're given, period, does not foundation, the better, always. Because when you're trying to stand out in front of 400 b-boys or b-girls, how the heck are you going to do it if you look like a watered down version of someone else? If that makes sense. You're 25, you got a long way to go. I know, DJ. I'm just joking. You wish somebody we can train, someday we can train together. It'd be absolutely amazing. Yeah, sure. I'm sure it can. One day. I started in 1998 and I'm 41, still flexible. Let's go, Flame. Get it. What do you think about b-boying culture? What's your favorite power move? I think b-boying culture is great. That being said, I think we have a lot to improve on, but it's the same as we have a lot to improve on life-wise. Like we're constantly learning and growing. So I hope that more directions of it get more and more socially acceptable. That's all I'm gonna say. What's your favorite power move that I can do, or that I like to watch? Because it's kind of two different things. I think for me to do, my favorite one, probably flares. I really like doing flares. I miss them. They're fun. One question, English is not my mother language. What does biting mean? Yeah, biting means copycat, like Flame said. It basically means to look exactly like someone. So for instance, if I do a move or a movement or a little combination of moves one way, you do it the exact same way with the exact same feeling, that's biting. That being said, we all learn through a form of biting. That's how we learn how to walk, talk, etc. So I don't think there's anything wrong with learning someone's move or someone's combination or whatever, as long as you change it afterwards and you use it as kind of a vehicle to get somewhere else. I think that's very important. That's how I learned a lot of my stuff and still kind of do, is you watch someone else, it's how someone moves, and then you kind of like take a little bit of it and then you apply it to your own style. It's just where people go wrong with it is they don't switch it. They bring it through one end and then they just leave it like that. You always got to keep moving it forwards, right? If you keep passing it, that's how we evolve. If you keep it stagnant and just as where it started, it's not going to go past it, right? So for instance, let's say windmills stopped at like where they were at Beat Street. So like nutcrackers, barrels, and like stab windmills. What if that's all windmills were today? And we never got like double mills, munch mills, tombstones, Australians, windmill, you know, like just so many things. What if that never got there? Well, the only reason that got there is because someone bit windmill, right? And they took it to a different level and they changed it, right? Well, it's the same thing with all these moves. If we bite someone, but then we completely change it into something else, then you've now taken their move and evolved it into a different direction. And that's where the culture and movement keeps growing and evolving. And if that doesn't happen, that's where it stops evolving. Does that make sense? So I think it's important that we keep it evolving, or else we're literally going backwards, you know? Can power moves be trained on a wall? I think drills for power moves can be trained on a wall 100%, but the full motion you won't ever really feel until you're in the full move. But I definitely think using a wall as a training method or a drill to help you for the power move is really important and can help you a lot and can really be a benefit, especially for stuff like air flares. What else? Yeah, I think air flares is probably the best one to train on walls in a way. But it's also not easy to train it on a wall. When I do footwork, I feel so heavy on my feet. Any suggestion to feel light as a feather and just flow? Yeah, Lucas, you gotta drill like over and over and over again. And then you have to lean all your weight off of your feet. So you need to be making sure you're using your arms for everything. And you're staying on your toes and you're going slowly. Go very slowly and make sure you have every move. And like if you can't have a conversation with someone while doing the move, you don't have it down. Does that make sense? So make sure you have it so down that you don't have to think about it. That really does make sense. I never thought about it that way. Yeah, I hope it can help. Can you do hand hops? I mean, tricks. I can do the basics, but not tricks. Can I ask you a question? Tell me how to be funky. So Jax Ram, if you've watched any of my how to bring like hip hop groove, house groove, Charlie rock into your talk rock, all those videos is how you get more funky talk rock. It's learning a different groove and different feeling and then applying it to your talk rock. So I recommend watching all of those videos. I've got quite a few on there now and applying them into your talk rock, and that's the best way. Also, if you see my talk rock video, how to make your talk rock look less awkward, then that's also a great place to start. Buddhist of the Predators group crew said, if the dancer makes pause points, then when you need to catch up, that is speed up. What does this mean and how? Let me just try and read that one more time. I understand that English isn't your first language. I'm just trying to decipher it. So I'm guessing what he meant by that is if you're gonna have a flow change or like a stop in your movement, make sure it's meant to be there, right? So let's say you're doing like a 6-step and every time you go to the front, you have a little pause and then you keep going. But that's not on purpose, that's just how you do it. Then he's probably talking about making sure that doesn't happen. So you want to make sure you have your fast moves fast, you have your slow moves slow, you have your stop moves as a stop. So I'm pretty sure what he's meaning is have clarity in your movement. If it's supposed to be quick, make sure it's quick. If it's supposed to be slow, make sure it's slow. It's supposed to be, if it's supposed to be a stop, make sure it's a stop. You know what I mean? So it's just having clarity within your movement, and that happens through drilling it over and over again and making sure that you have it solid. You know what I mean? Do I know B-Boy Clash? I don't think so. In basic steps, like a 6-step, when you come to the squat position, should your butt be rested on your heels or slightly elevated? So DJ, that's a good question. And I found the answer to that is it depends on the step. So certain steps, you're gonna be always elevated, and certain you're gonna be always on your heels. I think if there's a time in the movement, like in the flow, or the rhythm to where your bum can touch your heel, use it. But usually when you go faster, it becomes a bounce. Does that make sense? So basically if I'm here, watch, and now watch twice. You see that? So I go here, and then as soon as it comes in, it touches, but just long enough to go back up. So watch. You see what I mean? So I think it's not a rest, if you make sense. It's more of a rebound, like that. So you're not gonna actually be landing on your heels, you're just gonna be touching them and going back up. Kind of like if you're doing like multiple jumps on the spot, like skipping, you're gonna be bouncing always off the ground. That's kind of how it's like with your heels. You bounce off your heels versus resting on your heels. Does that make sense? I've always watched your videos and have subscribed. Thank you. Thank you for subscribing. I appreciate the support. Yo, guys, I don't speak Spanish. I'm sorry, or Portuguese. And I don't have Google Translate in the chat. Yeah, I'm fantastic. LMAO, if I were right behind you, I'd be doing tricks. Another question, how do you get higher back part of the flare? Because that's what I lack. I can only do 2 rounds of flare. So how you get higher in the back of your flare is by starting from the front. Does that make sense? So you want to start here, okay, and either do a coffee grinder into your flare or go from here. Here, kick around flare. Okay, so you need to learn how to balance this part of it. If you're going counter, like this, you need to learn how to hold this part of it for as long as you can as you're coming back. And then also your planche. So you want to make sure you've got here, right? If that's not solid, then it's going to be hard for you to hold the back part, okay? So make sure you understand all that and start training your first flare from the front to the back versus training 2 from the back to the front. That makes sense. What's up, Max? Love the wood floor, homie. Thank you. I picked it myself. This is my rental job. I didn't do it, but I picked it up. So that's something. And Magnus, what do you think about Venezuelan B-boys? I think you guys are dope. I haven't seen a ton apart from like the famous ones, obviously. So I'd love to see more. I don't think specifically about any culture of B-boys or B-girls in any different way. I just look at people as people, not really where they're from. Wordy, I'm going to add that to my footwork drills or be conscious of it at least. Yeah, just be kind of aware of it. That unless it's a specific step where you're like one leg swinging, like a coffee grinder, for instance, you're going to be not so bouncy, right? But if there's anything that's a bouncier step, you're going to have a bouncier heel, right? And if it's a solid step, you may have a solid heel. Just kind of be aware of what my body doing matching the rhythm of my step. If that's true, then it's fantastic, right? If not, then not. Zero, you gotta translate for me, dog. How to solidify the planche because mine is not fantastic. Well, make sure you obviously need this flexibility down here. This needs to be flexible because if you're not flexible at least like this much on both, it's going to be really hard for you to balance there, right? So once you have that solid, I just train this. Toes up and then balance this as long as you can. Once you can do here, just raise. And then you're just practicing your balance. Does that make sense? Do a flare. My hip's injured. I can't do flares right now, unfortunately. I'd love to. I'm from India, from a small city. I can't even pronounce it. I've never taken workshop or met international b-boys. I've learned from my crewmates and some other b-boys. Sick. Sounds great. Do you show us some burns? How to create them? I mean, I guess I could. It's kind of difficult because burns are very controversial. Because a lot of time, a good burn is storytelling, right? And you can't really force storytelling. So Jose, my best advice to you would be try to figure out how to burn someone creatively. Because if you're just like, here's a gun, chop your head off, like, you know, it's pretty boring and basic. And if you don't do it really well on beat, it's gonna be kind of weak. So you kind of want to think of it a creative way to do it. And a lot of time too, if you haven't done the movement in real life, why are you doing it in breaking? You know what I mean? Like a lot of people are like, oh, yo, guns in your face, what's up, blah, blah, blah. But it's like, why? What's the point, you know? I think the best burns are when you smoke someone humbly, right? So it's when you smoke someone without like, oh, in your face, blah, blah, blah. I think it's a lot more dope personally when it's humble burns, right? But that's just my personal opinion. No, baby. Tell me something about Cypher. Whatever, you have to be more specific, dog. There's so many things. Do you think it takes a lot of strength to make flare? I think you need adequate strength to hold your own body up. That's it. I don't think I'm extremely strong. I just think I'm strong enough for my body type. So you need to be strong enough to hold your body and like L sits and slight planches and stuff like that. You don't need to be super strong. You just need to be strong in comparison to your body weight. So you need to be able to hold your body up in like all the flare positions. If you can't do that, then you need to get stronger. Are you coming to Germany sometime? Would be dope. Once this channel's making enough to where I can travel, I'm very happy to travel, and I plan to travel eventually, but not until I can have a more stable income from online. Until then, I'll be staying here hustling because no point. I don't want to travel when I'm going to be coming back with a deficit. So if I'm traveling, I need to be earning more money or enough money to where I'm not coming back like hurting from it, traveling, if that makes sense. So I'm only going to travel if it pushes my career forwards, not backwards. What do you think of Bboys Bgirls? I mean, firstly, he's insane for his age. Secondly, he's an insane athlete. Thirdly, I think he's probably one of the top new gen. Is he my absolute favorite? No, but that's only because he doesn't give me that excitement factor because I don't feel him in his soul, if that makes sense. Like there's certain B-boys and B-girls when they dance, they like you can feel the energy, you feel the hype, like oh, like it's just dope. You feel the rawness. I don't really feel that from Shigekix. It's all a little bit too premeditated for me. So I think he's insane. He doesn't get me super hyped, but that's just my own personal opinion. And I'm sure as he gets older, that's gonna only progress. I don't really understand how somebody like you isn't famous here. Like literally your tutorials are so good and help so many people. It's all good, dog. Don't even stress it. Like YouTube's a crazy place and there's lots of people, and I don't do a lot of power tutorials, and tricks and stuff is unfortunately what a lot of people like. So it's just not what naturally gravitates, like what it doesn't make my body feel great. So, and it's not what I'm a specialist in my opinion. So I don't focus on it that often, but yeah, I mean, I don't really have the answers for that. Power is definitely not everything. And I think it's something that should be used as, you know, part of your breaking, but it's definitely nowhere near the most important part, but it's what excites a lot of people. So unfortunately, it's what gets the most love from that. But you know, it's what it is, right? Someone once told me bouncing and my footwork made me look like a B-girl, LOL, but at the same time, I think I was bouncing too much. Small bounces seem to be key. Yeah, DJ, think about it like this. If people can see the bounce, it's probably too slow, right? Because when you see me break, if I want a step to look bouncy, it's gonna look bouncy. But most of my stuff doesn't look bouncy. It's when all of it looks bouncy. You know what I mean? Like if I'm doing like a grounded step, I'm not gonna be like doing that. You know what I mean? So yeah, just be aware of your motion. If your motion matches your movement, it's great. If you're bouncing all your steps that shouldn't always be bouncing, you're probably doing it in the wrong way. You know what I mean? Just be aware of where it applies, doesn't apply. And again, don't worry at all what anyone's telling you. Who cares, dude? Who cares? Don't even worry. You know, when people call girl or gay or B-girl or this or that in my life, like, who cares? Where are they and where are you? That's what you should focus on. Don't even stress it. How's life? Life's fantastic. Everything's just elevating. It's sick. Do you make money with breakdance? Yeah, it's my full-time career. It's what pays for this room I'm in, my condo. It's supported me. I've never had a job that's not breaking. It's been my full-time job since I had no job. So, you know, working it, brah. Abby, you're back. What's good? What did you want again? Remind me. I have a memory of a goldfish. Dancing in the streets. So my friend, if you look on my YouTube channel, I have the top 8 ways to make money breaking. If you watch that, you'll see all the answers I have for how to make breaking, and I've done majority of them in that video. Okay. How do you add small details into your footwork? So honestly, you do that by either one, freestyling and being natural with it. That doesn't really work for me though. Or two, by just being aware of flares and tips and things, right? So for instance, if you're in like a CC, right, or a kick-out position, what can you do? Here, grab a leg, clap your hands, go under, like just think about it. You know what I mean? Go to a spot and see how you can add a detail in. That's all it really is, dog. Like, I think people think it's this crazy formula. All it really is taking the time to do it. But I can definitely, I've had a couple people ask me that, so maybe I'll make a tutorial on how to add details into your footwork. Because it seems like it's a topic that's a little bit hot that people want. So maybe I'll supply that. Modeling or breaking? Breaking. I love modeling, do not get me wrong. But the people in modeling, I do not love. There's the abstract side of modeling is fantastic. Mainstream side of modeling is complete garbage. So yeah, I'm not interested in being in that industry. At least not the mainstream. I'm so down to model in the sense of like, doing the modeling I like to do, but a lot of the money is like, you really feel like a prostitute. Like a lot of it is literally just selling your body. So I'm not really down for that. It doesn't fulfill me. It doesn't supply anyone, but literally like something to please themselves too visually, if you know what I'm saying. What's good, Charlie? Competition or cypher battle? I'm a competition b-boy. I've been a cypher b-boy. Be careful, the ceiling fan is gonna fall off onto your head. Dude, it's like behind me. How? It's not even possible. Sorry, Charlie, no plugs in here. What's your thoughts on Olympic breaking? I think it's fantastic. As I've been saying many times, like the breaking needs to be evolving. It's 2019, and the fact that we're getting Olympic record is fantastic. It's absolutely phenomenal. So yeah, like I see nothing wrong with it. I only see they're an issue with it if the wrong people are running it. But apart from that, like I think it's fantastic, and I think it's only going to help the community and everybody. I think the only thing that could go with it is if we let it go wrong with ourselves, and we can't. If we let it turn us against each other, that's where it's going to have an issue. But as long as you take it as a bonus to breaking, awesome. It doesn't have to change anything. It only has to change stuff if we allow it to change. Because at the end of the day, we run it, right? We're the B-boys, we're the B in it. So as long as we stay true to our values and our views, nothing's gonna happen. They can't do anything. They're not the B-boys and B-girls. You know, if they want to hire garbage people, sure, but they're gonna have to hire people that literally aren't in the scene. You know what I mean? So I don't see it being an issue unless we make it an issue. On the tuck flare, when practicing with your feet, when you backwards, do you go straight back or circle around back? Good question. You circle around back. So if you go straight back, you're not completing the circle, right? You want to make sure you're always going as circular as you can with it. But again, the more circular you go, the harder it is, but also the nicer it'll make the move look, if that makes sense. At what age did you start dancing, and what age did you start succeeding in battles? I started breaking when I was like 13 or 14. Maybe 12 was when I learned like my first move, and then I took my first class, I think 13 or 14. And then successful in battles. I guess it kind of depends what you consider success. I guess if you're talking about like winning, Probably like 2013, 2014 is when I started kind of like really getting into like my stride. And then like 2015 was probably my best year. 2016, like between 2015 and 2016, I think. Was it? Yeah, somewhere in there is when I probably had like my most success in breaking as far as like battling goes. In my school, everyone says breakdance is gay because it's dancing. It's so damn annoying. People are so disrespectful on this side. Here, city is way different though, but I don't live in one. Yeah, Timon, so I went to a place called Lloydminster in Canada before. I got flown out to teach at a studio in a hockey town because Canada's very hockey run, as a lot of people know from the stereotypes. And they had like one boy in the studio, and he's like this 13, 14-year-old boy, and he was getting severely bullied from his classmates at school. Like, they were not only calling him gay and like more extreme words, but they were also like throwing his lunch across the room and like seriously harassing him. And I came there to teach for the weekend and like built that boy up. Like, I gave him a lot of support and a lot of help. I also like, dude, I've never been in school, but I've had lots of those same things directed at me. And at the end of the day, you gotta look at the facts. And the facts are, for me, I've gotten 90% of my girlfriends from breaking. I've seen a lot of guys that have not gotten many girlfriends, and they don't dance. Girls love dancers. They love dancers. So I'm just saying, like, as far as that, dude, like, you just gotta use it as fuel, man. Like, I had a lot of those situations. I had a lot growing up where I was super insecure with it, and I had a lot of similar issues. And you have to learn how to turn it into fuel and try to stay away from it as much as you can. So whenever it happens, man, use that as fuel for your breaking. Prove them wrong. The only way you're gonna prove them wrong is by killing it. You know what I mean? So rather than like let it affect you and make you stop breaking, let it affect you to start breaking and to break more and more. Whenever you're tired, whenever you're down, think about them. Think about how it makes you feel, and that as fuel to get so good that they're gonna be crying over the facts that they didn't befriend you rather than make fun of you. If that makes sense. Stand up and show us how you do a chair and then go to hand hops. Chair to hand hops, just handstand, dog. I have tutorials on that on my channel. You can check it out. Just look at my free stat videos. Hey, I have Battle of the Year event this upcoming Wednesday participating, but I'm gonna try to smoke kids in the circles. Any tips on how to remember all the moves? Either depends. Are you like a cypher b-boy? Are you a combo b-boy? A b-boy or full freestyle? That's number one. So let me know that. Pay them no mind, dude. They say it because they can't do it. Keep grinding, going. Yeah, exactly. You said it right. Brazil. I'm getting more water. Hold up. No worries, Timon. Happy to help. I was that kid too. We all have had those moments. Just keep talking about it. The more you talk about it and the more you voice it to other people, the more support you'll find. It's 2019. Life ain't like that anymore. Those people are running old mentality. And old mentality is gonna die. It's the future, dog. For the question I asked, I'm a freestyler, but I do have some moves. My approach is kind of similar to the approach of B-Boy Dizzy. Combos, moves, but not fully sets. Okay, so make sure your combos you have like down. Like you should be able to be listening to me while drilling it, or talking to someone while drilling it. Like have it so solid that you do not have to think about it. That's number one. That way you can just like into the combo and not even think about it. Number two is make sure you have multiple ways to get into that combo. So let's say I'll try doing like a throwdown, okay? And see what you're like, do like 5 throwdowns and see what moves you naturally go to the most. And then try to learn how to start all your combos from every single one of those moves. If you can start your combo in different ways, then what you can do is whenever you're freestyling, you can naturally go into any combo at any time in any way because you've practiced it so many times, right? So it comes down to drilling it more than the other person. That way, whenever you actually battle them in the round or the cipher, sorry, my nose is itchy, then you're never gonna forget it because you're gonna know, oh, this move I can connect to this combo, this to this combo, and it's gonna be muscle memory. Does that make sense? So that's how I would approach it. If also you're welcome to just like try to do rounds and then try to think about your next round while you're waiting to do your next round. If that makes sense. So like you finish a round. So if you have someone, you can train it with someone, set like a timer on the ground for like 10 minutes or 30-second cycles. Do freestyle and then you throw down 30 seconds, then wait 30 seconds. And while you're waiting those 30 seconds, next round. And then keep that process going and try to change up your combos as much. Try to change up your combos as in like what you're thinking about doing next. So that every time you're in the moment and you're kind of nervous, like stressed out, like hype energy, you can think about what's next all the time, right? As same way we drill anything. You just gotta drill that mentality while in that kind of a zone. So zone being like the cipher battle style zone, if that makes sense. That's how I would approach it personally. Which is your favorite b-boy? I have different favorites in b-girls for each different style and kind of motion of breaking. So it all depends on the style, right? Who was the top b-boy in 2018? I have no idea. Can you show us something, Magnus? What are you working on at the moment? Timon, I'm not really working on anything at the moment. I'm basically always working on, right now, because I'm uploading every day, I'm working on thinking of whatever content next day. So right now, my brain's not really focused on creating for myself. It's more so creating stuff that I can turn into content for you guys. So as far as my own stuff goes, I'm not really creating anything at the moment. I'm just trying to rehab my body and my hip. Because as long as my hip's injured, I'm gonna be limited as my movement goes. So right now, my full focus is on like that, and then creating the content for you guys. Because if I'm not constantly thinking about what I can do next, I'm gonna run out of content in like a day. Thanks for the brips. Thanks for the tips. Whether do you think 11 combos that ends in some sort of freeze is good enough? Of course, I have more moves, but they are not combined together. The way I would approach it is like, don't think so much about how much content you have. Just try to be as comfortable as you can throwing down as you can. You know what I mean? Because the thing is with cipher battles is like they could go 20 rounds or 30 rounds. So know how to split your 11 rounds into 30 rounds. Just throw down as much as you can. I think ciphering is a lot about a conversation. So the more that you can, I also battle a lot of b-boys in practice or whatever, or b-girls, and practice going at it. Practice cipher battle, I think, is the best way to prepare for cipher battling. You know what I mean? Same thing for anything. But yeah, 11 combos is a lot. Who knows, right? There's no answer. The cipher battle could go on 2 rounds, or it could go on 30 rounds. So you know what I mean? Like you just kind of got to be ready for whatever. That's the best thing for him. And the most important thing is you got to be ready for anything at any given moment. It's a gamble, right? Anyway, people who don't use Facebook can still be part of the community, like Breaking Miss and for share viz. DJ, I mean, you can I guess you can me your videos through email, and I can post them. It just becomes a lot of work for me. It's kind of difficult. If you want to be a part of the community, I'd honestly just get Facebook. Even if it's like a dummy account or whatever, or use your friends or somebody else's to post, because that's basically where the community is going on there. It's kind of hard to be a part of it if you're not the platform, you know what I mean? Do you think it's okay to train mentally? I think it's important to train mentally. Very important. And what age did you start b-boying? What age was your first? I started breaking when I was 13, 12, 13, 14 area. And my first battle, I want to say, I was like 15. Can you give tips on the Halo freeze? Do you mean like Hong 10 or side chair? Jemmy, what are you struggling with it? Timon, my tips with halos are simply to have it in freeze motion. So make sure you have your side chair or your Hong 10 freeze, push up the headstand, rotate head spin, catch. If you have that, then yeah, or going side chair, push up to head invert is also a good one. I suggest having those first, and apart from that, just drilling it, taking your time. Go, homie. And do you have recommended playlists I can play when I want to get creative? Anything that like it motivates you creatively, you should play. When I'm creating, I'm playing whatever is gonna motivate me to create. Whenever I listen to whenever I'm training, have music that matches your training. That's all. That's all you gotta really do. You talk about the question you asked me. I'm not completely understanding, but okay. And if you don't know how to completely do the Hong 10, yeah, I would either learn it, or you need to learn how to throw faster. That's all. Because when you're here, your hand's already behind you. And if you're throwing from the front, you just have to whip way faster. It's just a little bit more difficult, but it doesn't mean it's wrong or right. It's a different style. It looks like you're always alone. Don't you practice with anyone anymore? Not really. I do train. I am mostly alone. I like being alone. I like training. I don't train well with other people most of the time, because I get distracted very easily by other people. So I like training and kind of being alone for a lot of. But you have to remember that usually I teach 5 or 6 days a week, so I'm with people all the time. I love my alone time. But as far as training goes, yeah, I'm not breaking with other people really at all right now. I like it. It's my roots. That's kind of how I started too. You giving away super chat? Hey, I'm always thankful for super chats. Who's the best in anyone in your opinion? If you don't feel bad, everyone has their own opinions, dog. It's what you're looking for. You know what I mean? I'm not gonna really call people out. 1, it's dumb for me. 2, it all depends on opinion, you know? Sam, I get more training done practicing by myself than with the crew. I'm just being honest, dude. When I train with other people, I'm so distracted and I get anxious, and I try to, and then I feel like I have to train a certain way, and it's just it messes with me mentally. But when I'm by myself, I can just focus on what I want to do, and I don't have the insecurities of trying to please other people. I also have a problem with babies where you switch from one leg to the other. What's your problem, Jemmy? You gotta tell me what the problem is, dog. If you don't tell me the problem, I can't help you. Bboys Rugby in India, it's probably hard to train since difficult conditions. I'm thinking about Indian Bai fighters, since in India, one of the strongest fighters, crazy people. What is going on, dog? That sounds insane. Be safe. What do you think about Kid Karim? I think he's dope. I haven't seen much of him to really give you a full opinion. How many viewers are actually? No, dog. Don't apologize. It's fine. A lot. We have NON Vancouver and NON Japan. In Japan, there's like 5, I think, or 4, and then in Vancouver, and there's kind of a couple mixed throughout the world, but in like the Vancouver branch, we have like, I want to say 12 or 13. There's just a lot of them aren't actively a lot. You know what I mean? So a lot of like NON's a family first. You have to remember we're not just a breaking crew, right? So real crews are people that they support each other as a family first, and then a crew second, if that makes sense. So yeah, if that makes sense. Can you do more live streams like that if you can? I'm doing a live stream every week, so every Sunday. If that makes sense. Windmill to flare. If you send a video of yours, I can help you with it, but right now I can't share it because of my hip. Sorry. Hello, I appreciate your honesty and would like your opinion on some difficult questions around questioning tradition. Why do you think there are no specific techniques credited to women? It's a good question, and I think it's because when a lot of the moves were being created, there wasn't so many women around. But I mean, it's a fantastic question because, I mean, b-boying has always been a male-dominated dance or culture, whatever you want to call it. But I would love to have like an actual dictionary of the moves women created with breaking. I just don't know, to be honest. Like nobody told me, so I'm in the same boat you are. I don't know. The only thing I can really do is guess and make assumptions. You know. No worries, team. On thanks for stopping by. Hope stay strong with your school situation. Hey. Yeah, I think it's difficult. It makes me sad to think about because I think there should be a lot more, and I feel like there was a certain amount that just weren't credited, or it literally just hasn't happened yet. You know, you have to remember breaking's still young, and I think the more breaking's going now, the more females are creating more, and the more that we are getting a bigger impact from the female side of breaking. So I think it's just a matter of time, you know. But as far as I don't know. I don't have the answer for it, you know. What's up, Ford crew? Yeah, guys, I'm out. It's already like, geez, it's been a while. I gotta go in like 5 minutes. I gotta film today's video. I feel very inspired by the style of b-boy villain of Kimja's. I've seen that he does not any power moves, and his movements are very original. Do you think he's a good example of a good b-boy? Yeah, definitely. Villain's dope. All of Underground Flow are super sick, to be honest. Underground Flow have a very original feel to them. Yeah, I think he's a dope person to use it as an example of a good b-boy. Are you supporting b-boy in the Olympics? Yes, 100%. Do you know any b-boys who can't do power or aren't good at it but still killing it? Yeah, many. Like Severin from my crew doesn't do much power, but he kills it on a daily. Jamming Cameron from NON, he also doesn't really do much power, also killing it. Internationally, b-boy Robin, I have barely seen do power, he's killing it. B-boy Zeshin, I've barely seen do power, he kills it. And off the top of my head, you know, there's 4, so there's tons. I think power is probably one of the things you can get away with the most for not using and actually still kill it, to be honest. As far as being the top in the world and on an international level, though, it's hard. Because if you're in Red Bull or something you just got to be so well rounded and so good at everything. Any weak link is a very weak link now, so you got to be very on point. Totally, thanks for engaging with the question. A lot of breakers credit their sisters, moms, aunts with learning how to dance. Metis just did some research about how women develop burning. That's dope. I'd love to hear more about that stuff. Yeah, I really hope there's some old OGs that really do some proper crediting to that, because I'm too young, dude. Like, I don't know enough as of the past to wasn't there. You need to have people from that era coming up and talking about it, you know? Yeah, DJ Box Cut is another great example of someone, but I mean, he does a little bit of power. Box Cut does do a little bit of power. Okay, y'all, I'm bouncing. Thanks so much for stopping by. I'll see you guys next Sunday for the next live time. And apart from that, new video will be up in a couple hours. Thanks so much. Much love. Peace.